comments to begin the video. Sound good? Okay, let's go. Clap, clap. Yeah, fuck it. What? Is this the intro? This is the intro. Is this the intro? This is the intro. How the hell are you? Hopefully well. Let's get to your comments. Ken Gross, fine work drafting. Look more at the ETAs and later rounds. Greeting from Germany as I love your videos. And Ken, I love you. Check Alvin Joseph on the A's. Let's do that. In case you somehow missed the draft in the last episode, that's what we had. But let's go look at Oakland, shall we? Alvin Joseph is a 51, so he's a good 24 points away from being any decent. Will he ever make it? Maybe, maybe not. Puck Nerd, yo, I feel famous. You should. Donald Bent, not sure if you noticed, but Bobby Bloom was second in rookie scoring. I didn't, so thanks for pointing that out. Alexander Vreeland, number one pick seems sketchy. Probably. Again, it was I said it in the last episode, it's I'm just stumbling and stammering through everything. I said it was the first number one pick where I was really questionable as to whether or not he was going to develop. Lukey, indeed, this is the first year where I've set up AAA and AA myself as opposed to letting the AI do it because we have too many good players, so I'm with you on that. Should probably consider switching a few closers to relievers so they don't get upset. That is 100% a part of the plan, if necessary, and if we notice it's starting to be a problem. I'm curious to the overalls of these 5 players. All right, let's do it. Let's look around, shall we? So on the Cubs, it was Kevin Jameson, who's a 53. So again, quite far away from ever making it. On Houston, it was Benitez, who's a 60 at 22. So he's probably not ever going to make it, but he might end up being a half-decent pinch-hitting option. Alvin Joseph on the A's, we already looked at, so that's good. Or did we? Did we look at Alvin Joseph? Am I losing my mind? Alvin Joseph. Yeah, we just looked at Alvin Joseph. What am I even doing? Cleveland, Leandro Cruz is a 50 at 22. So again, a decent bench option at best. And on the Minnesota Twins, we have Cleveland Herbert, who's a 52 at 20. So all those players are kind of alike. Thus concludes the comment section about the comment section. Let's get this show on the road, damn it. We're back again. You know the deal. It's another season. Let's get to it. Let's go to the All-Star game first and foremost, and we will see who makes it as we have 20 wins on the year. I'm hoping to hit at least 54 again to prove that we haven't declined. But, of course, the feeling is still the same about this organization at this point. Things are starting to come together. Let's go auto-fix lineup for AAA. That's fine for now. I will check back at the All-Star break before I probably just sim a little bit more as to whether or not people are in the lineup who we need to be in the lineup. That said, again, the roster's coming together. We have quite a few players now under contract, and I'm excited for what the next few seasons could bring. Will we make the playoffs in the next 2 to 3 years? Not entirely sure, but it would be nice. Let's take a look at who made the All-Star game for us, shall we? And it is going to be... Shout out to Mike Soroka and Robert Selman. Nobody there. Lineup-wise, no starters. All right, who's on the bench? Who's it going to be? Michael Chavis, once again an All-Star. What a guy. 12 home runs, 31 RBIs. Beautiful stuff. He is our only representative, so he kind of makes it in by default. I was going to say his numbers weren't exactly looking that great, but there you go. Let me quickly take a look at ye old AAA lineup, and thankfully there's not anybody missing time that I care about. Same thing although Archie May, but there's a new injury there, so it's probably going to ask me, but it's to a catcher. So Martinez, Archie, I don't know who the hell you should play for. This dude. Congratulations, Archie. You're now a center fielder. How does it feel? How does it feel? Roger Ramos, I don't believe is ours, so he can sit because Archie May is all that matters. Archie May is love. Archie May is life. Kick rocks, Roger Ramos. There we go. We're good to go. Hopefully, we can just stay live with this for the sake of me not having to make an extra jump cut, which really... At this rate, with the way it's simming and the overall lack of injuries for the most part, we should be okay to go through this fairly quickly. Baltimore can kick rocks. I'm not allowed to trade, don't you know? It's Draft to Glory. Didn't you get the memo in the mail? I faxed it to you because those are still a thing, apparently. As we have hit 47-48. Good Lord, what a stretch. We just stomped San Francisco. and somebody goes down to injury. But 51 wins on the year, so it's very unlikely that we won't beat last year's total. Who the hell is that that's injured? It is our left fielder. So Josh Stowers, congratulations. You are now in the lineup. That is, who's hurt? Who is hurt right now? I don't even know. Who the hell got hurt? Injury report. It was Brian Lopez. Out for 1 to 2 months. Damn. Fractured shin. That is only 1 to 2 months for a fractured shin. Must not be fractured that badly, but Brian's going to be out for the rest of the season pretty much. AAA. Okay, you know, I did say I didn't think we'd have that many issues, yet here we are. So let's take a look. Lee Tran, congratulations. You're now in the lineup. Do we have a long reliever? Let's go for this guy, John Johnson. Still maybe the best name that we have on roster. From there, I'm pretty much just going with the auto edit. It's good. It's good. His AAA and AA seasons are over anyway, so it's fine. We are good. 57 wins now, on pace by far for our best season yet. We pretty much knew that was going to be the case. 65 and 97 on the year. Beautiful. We don't make the playoffs, but we are progressing, which is the best part. So it's Houston, Boston, winner plays Texas, Minnesota, Baltimore, over in the NL, between Chicago and Washington, winner plays Arizona. Pittsburgh, back in the playoffs again, will play Philly. In terms of the awards, NL Rookie of the Year, Nolan Jones. Good stuff. Good stuff. Actually, here, let's get to the end of the playoffs before we take a look at everything for the season. Of course, before moving on to the Rule 5, as the Phillies beat the Rangers in the World Series. So, no Pittsburgh this time out. Pittsburgh ended up being swept by Philadelphia. So, there you go. Pretty big upset there. In terms of awards, postseason MVP, Alex Bregman and Jose Ramirez. World Series MVP was Christian Yelich with a ridiculous .450 average. AL MVP, Machado. Correa wins it over in the NL. Cy Youngs to Kershaw and Sean Newcomb. Batting title, Jake Bowers and Travis Jankowski. Really? Okay. Reliever of the Year, Drew Steckenrider and Jace Fry. Nolan Jones is now our third Rookie of the Year. Good stuff. Will Clausen wins it in the AL. Hank Aaron Award to Yohan Moncada and Shohei Ohtani. So there you go. Very, very interesting. Let's take a look here. I guess... Do we really only... I think we only care about MLB stats. I do kind of care about player progression. You know what? I care about player progression. I think we got to look. Let's start over in the wonderful world of the outfield first, just because we can. So Steven Ryder is down to a B potential, which doesn't really surprise me. He's a legitimate 79 overall. Some decent improvement. The -7 to contact. I mean, his hitting against lefties dropped. But 22 home runs, new career high. 75 RBIs, not a career high. 12 stolen bases and a .246 average. Not bad. He's not going to be Mike Trout, unfortunately. But still, he's going to be a really solid player for us, and I still love him. Damian Montag, I don't think we have to worry about. Again, one of our D potential guys. Archie May is someone that I'm worried about. Although, with Montag, if you cared, there's his attributes. Archie May, 63 overall now. That's legit. Some good improvement there. We also have Leary and Williams. So let's take a look here. Dan Williams up to a 57, and Greg Leary up to a 51. So nothing too crazy there. Glenn Huff, 71 overall now at 21 years old. Some decent improvement. We have two center fielders and Bryant Kay and Stephen Booth joining the depth charts. In the outfield, Josh Stowers, 84 overall. He's a legit 82. Some good improvement. 2 minuses here and there. 10 home runs, 30 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, and a .241 average. So Stowers looking pretty good. Brian Lopez, who unfortunately ended the season injured. Some decent improvement, up to an 83. He's technically an 85. Unfortunately, I didn't put him back in the starting lineup because, of course, the way injuries are. I need to turn that injury thing off. No, I need to turn injuries back to Major League. But yeah, otherwise Brian Lopez would have been back, or I could have just paid attention. But some good improvement. Didn't play as much as he should have because of the injury, which really, I think he wouldn't have played anyway. I don't think he would have been back in time. But 21 home runs, 58 RBIs, 20 stolen bases, and a .242 average. Ray Rosario as well, a 76. A couple of minuses there, though. But 7 home runs, 43 RBIs, 18 stolen bases, and a 240 average. Carmen Avila, one of our other outfielders, up to a 67, but deep potential. And Juan Calzado, up to a 64. At shortstop, for the moment, we still only have Keston Hiura, who is up to a 79. That's a legit rating. Some good improvement across the board. 13 home runs, 34 RBIs, with a 265 average. At third, it's our all-star, Michael Chavis, who's an 81. A 70, oh yeah, he's an 81. Okay, 79 overall currently. But he made some good improvement. The batting dropped in some regards. But 16 home runs, 57 RBIs, and a 249 average. Nolan Jones, our Rule 5 pickup, the rookie of the year. So I feel very good about that. He is a legitimate 77. Some good improvement, a couple of minuses to hitting against lefties. But 12 homers, 55 RBIs, and a 250 average. Lee Wilkins, 68 overall. Not bad for a C potential guy who was sitting on the bench. He's actually a 70 and a 320 average when he got to play, which I guess isn't surprising because that contact against lefties is phenomenal. Ramon Vasquez played the year down in AAA. He is up to a 62, our first round pick last year. And that is it for third. So at second, we have Graham Edwards, who is a legit 78 at 20 years old. Which is pretty good. Some good improvement across the board. Had a 227 average on the season, so the bat still needs to develop, but definitely a defense-first option. At first, Bobby goddamn Bloom. The negative next to A potential, but he is still A potential. A legitimate 80. I mean, that contact, just in general, his hitting ability is phenomenal. 20 home runs, 76 RBIs with a 293 average. He is going to be something special. And then there's Will Glover, a 68 overall. Not bad as a depth option. Actually, a legitimate 70 who hit 281, which isn't bad. At catcher, MJ Melendez, a former Rule 5 pickup, an 80 overall. Some decent improvement, especially the contact. 9 home runs, 27 RBIs with a 244 average. Henry Shipman started on the bench, a legit 71, but some decent improvement for the C potential, a 306 average. So our bench players did really well in limited action. And Josh Rincon played down in AAA, still a B potential, up to a 64. Closers, because we have a lot of them. Will Vincent, still the man, still an A potential. A legitimate 87. A little bit upset about the money, but it is what it is. The hits per 9 is phenomenal. Stats-wise, 34 saves on the year, a new career high. Which is pretty good. The whip was the highest it's ever been in his career, surprisingly. Bruce Boyle, a legitimate 79. It's pretty good. Some good improvement as well. Solid whip this season. ERA, he did pretty well. 9-3 record for Bruce Boyle. Richie Sorvala, up to a legitimate 78. Not bad. And Guillermo Ramos, down to a C, 73 potential. I think he was a C in general, but he's a 71 at this point. Now, again, we have Napoleon Gillis and Jimmy Price joining as closers. Relievers, we have Durbin Feltman, who's back down to a legit 77. Still a good option for us, though. I don't regret taking him in the Rule 5 a few years ago. We have Agustin Silva, D potential, but just to get you guys a look at his numbers. John Johnson spent the year down in AAA, up to a 68. Andreas Tavares, up to a 65, but D potential. And where is Jack Burden? I think we just drafted him. That's what it was. And then for starters, last but not least, Alex Fido is an 85. Some decent improvements. Not a terrible season. He still managed to stay under a 5, which is pretty nice. Logan Allen, a legit 82. Not looking that bad. Not that bad of a season either. Sean Jelly, up to an 82. That is not legit, though. He's an 80. Not a bad season. Greatly improved compared to last year. Gustavo Gonzalez, up to an 82. He's a 79 legit, though. And had a decent season. His first season under a 5.0 ERA in 4 attempts. So good job there. Mason Denneberg, our Rule 5 pickup, a legit 81. Had a decent season. Sam Wallace, a legit 81 as well. Still with that A potential. Had his best season yet, under a 4.0. Roger Samuel, up to a 72. Who else do we have? Herrera is ours. He's up to a 71. Griffin Roberts is not. Who did we miss? Clifton, Carrasco, and Graham, who I think we all... No, we didn't just draft all of them. Clifton's a D potential. No Carrasco, no Graham. So, there we go. That is your look at the team at this point in time. Again, we will make up for some lost time just by jumping to the draft once we get to spring training, as Derek Clifton has actually retired due to ability, so we can take him off the list. He is the only player that we have actually lost, as Yu Darvish retires as a Red Sox. Joey Votto makes it to the Hall of Fame. So we need to bring in everybody but a manager and third base coach. So hitting coach, who do we have? Perry Hill, Brian Snitker. Arguably the best two. I would prefer to go, I think, for Snitker. So let's see if we can go 4 years and just pay him a boatload of money. And let's see, pitching coach, Tony Diaz, Clay Moore, or Freddie Benavides, who is quite short apparently. Let's go. So let's see, that's a total of a +5. They're all +5s in fairness. Let's go for Freddie Benavides if possible. I like those stats a little bit more, so I'm going to just pay these guys what I have to get them. So again, it was third base, right? Yep, so we need first base and farm director. First base coach, let's go for, is there anyone with straight A's? Indeed, Brian Hendley. Mr. Henley, how would you like to make $1.3 million a season? And for farm director, I mean, Dave frickin' Roberts, are you kidding me? He should be the manager, but I'll gladly bring on Dave Roberts if he is willing to be the farm director. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Let's move forward. Henley's on as first base coach. Benavides is on as the pitching coach. Roberts has gone to the Marlins as a manager. So we are going to need a different farm director. Let's go for Tyler Kearns with the straight A's. And we'll pay him, hopefully, whatever it takes to get him. As Kearns is on, we are still waiting to hear from Brian Snitker, as we have the most fruitful offer for him, and there we go. All right, so good. Our coaching staff is taken care of. Let's go ahead and sim to that next day. As always, I got to clean up the roster really quickly before we send out some contract offers, so I'll talk to you in a second. All right, the roster's clear. Let's get down to business of re-signing some of our guys. Logan Allen is first up. We're going to go 3 years at 3.7. Still going to take the discounts as best we can. Doesn't look all that interested in it. We'll bounce it up to 11.2 over the next 3 years. Bobby Bloom. This could be a rough one. 3 years. Oh my God. If we were to go 4. So 3 years at $7 million per. He's worth it already, but still, that could be a rough contract in the future. Keston Hiura. I don't think I'm ready to let somebody go just yet, but Hiura's that type where eventually we could let him go to try and get back some compensation, but we will re-sign him for now at nearly $11 million. And Henry Shipman also needs a little bit of money. So there we go. Those are our first 4. Now everybody else. Mr. Denneberg. Rule 5 last year, 2 years at $1.1 million per. Works for me. MJ Melendez, let's go 1 year at 9.10, which might be detrimental to his morale, but it is what it is. Nolan Jones, the rookie of the year, will go $800K. Roger Samwell, let's go 1 year at 6.10, just to take advantage of the ability to kind of cheat him on salary. Neither of those two are ours. Actually, Andreas Tavares is the next one that is ours. Let's go 3 years at 540. He's going to hate that eventually. I think from there... Nope, Josh Rincon. I was going to say, I think from there we're good. Let's go 3 years at 566. From there, Archie May. There's going to be a couple of other guys we might miss. Let's give Archie a decent amount of money. Ramon Vasquez as well. 3 years at 5.6. And I think we're good from there. Maybe. It'll clean up. We actually really had to sign Williams. Free agent-wise, by the way, Gleyber Torres, Juan Soto, Sean Newcomb, and Shohei Ohtani are the top options. Let's move forward today as Jordan Hicks goes to the Tigers, Juan Soto to the Twins, Ohtani to the Diamondbacks. I just realized I didn't look at that Philly roster. I'm sorry. I knew I forgot something. Mia to the Mets, Glover to the Red Sox, Newcomb to the Cubs, Pirates get Sean Reed-Foley. Torres to the Rays. So how are we looking now in terms of these offers? And you know what? Here, let me see. I didn't even have to do that, but there you go. I'll look at some of the top players still on Philly that would have been there anyway, from Bregman, Freddie Freeman, Christian Yelich, Paul DeYoung. So they had some bats. They had some good starters as well. Probably not surprising that they were able to win. Let's go back to tender contracts and see who we missed. In fairness, it's not going to refresh for me until we hit the next phase and those guys officially hit the free agent list. So let's go back to Dan Williams, since I know I have to bring him back anyway. And I think, hopefully, finally, he wasn't the last one. Every time. Greg Leary, sign him up. Now we're good for the moments. Let's keep moving forward. Dan Williams rejected. That's fine. Altavia to the Diamondbacks. Chapman to the Astros. Allen, Hiora, and Shipman are the ones that we're really worried about. We got 10 days to sign them. Luis Castillo to the Giants. Jace Fry to the Yankees. Still worried about these three. Come on now, peeps. We need to make this work. Let's see. The next part of free agency is in 6 days. Steckenrider to the Giants. Gallagher to the Pirates. Andujar to the Rays. Are we good? Just Henry Shipman as the final holdout. And Dan Williams as well. But we have until December 2nd to sort that out. Reyes to the Padres. And as we're getting to some of the, I wouldn't say weaker names on the list. Okay, everyone has signed. Dan Williams is the last guy that we need to bring in. And the roster's set. We'll be good to go straight to the Rule 5. And we're good. There we go. Everyone has signed. Let's do it. Rhys Hoskins to the Astros. Martez to the Twins. To the Rule 5 we go. As always, one pitcher and one position player will be joining the squad. Andrew Knapp to the Braves. Aramis Garcia to the Mariners. Matt Olson to the Astros. Astros making a lot of signings. It's just me, or are they making a lot of signings? Nomar Mazara, David Fletcher, Manuel Margot, Castellanos, Bradley Zimmer, Walker Buehler. Jesus Christ, so many signings. All right, are we finally here? Brian Anderson is the last one. Let's do this. Number 1 pick again for being the worst team in the league. Let's see who's here. So for a starter, 25B and a 79 is looking pretty good for Hans Kraus. Is there anything better than 25B and a 79? Mainly judging it off of age. Like a 23B and a 77 might not be bad, but that's not looking likely. Gio Irwin's the first 23-year-old. Might not be the best year for starters. 23B and a 76 for Josh Montoya. He's probably my preferred option already. So again, 23B and a 76. Is there a 23? There probably isn't an A potential guy, I would assume. We've seen a couple, so yeah, there isn't. So 23 being a 76 or 25 being a 79. I'd take the 23-year-old in that regard. Is there anybody else, though? Is there anybody else, or is that the pitcher that we're going with? Relief-wise, we do kind of need a reliever, but there isn't anybody of decent potential. Would it be Ullman? Would it be Ullman? I'm honestly not sure. He wouldn't be too bad. He'd be a similar pickup to Durbin Feltman. Granted, we got Feltman when he was a little bit younger. So if we wanted to boost up the bullpen, Ullman would be the right option. And to be honest, that might not be the worst idea. I mean, we have Vincent Boyle and Sorvala along with Feltman that are pretty much the only major league ready guys. So bringing in a reliever rather than a questionable starter when we're already good on starters, I think we'll bring in a reliever this year. And in fairness, Lincoln Post, I didn't even look at him. I know it's another closer, but we can just change him over to a reliever. He's the best option. 24 being a 79, by far the best option. So I'm thinking the Canadian Lincoln Post, which is a great name, by the way, is going to be our target there. A catcher, we have Noah Taylor, 24B and a 75. Is there anybody else who can match that? 24B and a 75. Jahmai Jones isn't terrible. I didn't hate the way that the bench was set up. Like, we could drop Lee Wilkins, but Jahmai Jones is not going to be happy about being on the bench at all. So that's the interesting one. So we have a half-decent catcher that could send Henry Shipman down to AAA. Noah Taylor's not bad. Nobody at first. Jahmai Jones, also a possibility. So catcher, second base. At third, we have really nobody. Hudson Potts isn't that bad, but Jahmai Jones is on a much better trajectory in terms of being decent. Potts is a better at bat, though. But I think we could get away with Jones being on the bench with him being defense first. At shortstop, Xavier Edwards, 24B and a 76. Might be the best option. He might be. So it's either closer, Jones, Edwards, and left Armenteros is still there, but I knew he was going to be pretty good, but I just don't know if we can really afford to take another outfielder between Stowers, Lopez, and Ryder, and knowing that Glenn Huff is already in the system. Got Jesse Blake, also known as Dalton Pompey, 25B, Armenteros. Unless there's a can't-miss option, which there doesn't appear to be. And again, like these guys, even Marlin here, 23A and a 69, he might be... Well, actually, he might work. He might work. If I didn't want to take a catcher in Noah Taylor, which I kind of do, because he's a pretty damn good bat. Shipman's also not bad, though, but letting him tear it up in AAA might not be the worst option. So we could bring in someone who would basically be a bench option, but a really good bench option, in Jahmai Jones or Xavier Edwards. Or we go, I think it comes down to the catcher, Taylor, or it comes down to that first base option, just to see if he develops. Not that we need a first baseman, but it's a big risk, but if he develops, it could pay out. But sometimes those guys at that age, they develop, other times they don't. So I'm going to go with what we need the most first, and that is another reliever. We are going to add Lincoln Post to this team, and we'll see if anyone else gets picked that we were interested in. The answer appears to be no. So let me add Lincoln Post to our list of players, and from here, I got to be honest, I don't really have faith in that guy developing. I just don't. I think I'm going to go with Noah Taylor. He's going to be our backup catcher this year behind MJ Melendez. To be honest, the game might even make him a starter with how good he is at the plate. Shipman's kind of good for what he is, though. And again, Jahmai Jones wouldn't be bad. This is actually, I think this is the toughest call yet. We have to take a catcher who might not be happy about being on the bench full-time. We take a big-time project first baseman who might develop, might not. It's really tough to say. We take a Jahmai Jones or an Xavier Edwards and have them as a great bench option, but they're not going to be too happy about it. Hell, as it is, Nolan Jones is already kind of on the bench when he shouldn't be. He's not full-time, but still. Because Shipman had such a good season, I'm going to trust him as backup catcher. I'm going to trust him. Because as it is, we already have Rincon. I'm going to take the first baseman, and we'll see if he develops. Marlon is our selection. We'll try it. We'll risk it. I didn't risk it with Pavin Smith, who was in a similar spot a few years ago in the Rule 5. We'll risk it this time out. I will see you guys at the beginning of spring training once we sort out the roster and have all that covered. All right, before we get to the season sim and more importantly to the draft, let's take a look at your 2024-2025 Cincinnati Reds. First things first, still dead last in terms of ranking, but 15th in speed, 7th in contact, 30th in defense and power, but 28th in pitching, so we're making some progress. In terms of prospects, I'm honestly not sure if we have anybody. We'll take a look. Of course, a lot of our top guys are still higher up there. Marlin is technically on the list. Of course, he's going to be on the bench to start the season. We'll see if he develops, and then next year we can put him down in AAA and hope for the best. He is the only one on the list at the moment. So here we go. Our rotation. Alex Fido is our ace. Logan Allen, Sam Wallace, Mason Denneberg, and Gustavo Gonzalez. Sean Gelli is our long reliever. Feltman, Boyle, Lincoln Post, Guillermo Ramos, Richie Sorvala as the setup man, and Will Vincent as the closer. Down in AAA, you have guys like Samuel Herrera, Carrasco at the moment. Some other guys here like Jack Burton, who we just drafted. Also, there lineup-wise, I haven't set up the AAA roster, but here is the team. Some tough choices as far as how to get Wilkins, Shipman, and Rosario a little bit of time. Marlin as well. But Graham Edwards at second. Of course, DH, it's not as big of a deal since we're an NL team, but you get the point. Graham Edwards, Josh Stowers, Bobby Bloom, Brian Lopez, Michael Chavis, Steven Ryder, Nolan Jones, Keston Hiura, and MJ Melendez are the preferred starting lineup right now. You see who's on the bench. That's the most important thing to look at here, of course, is who the personnel are rather than where they're played at the moment, just so you know, like, hey, look at this team. We're actually making some steps forward. AAA-wise, again, I'm just going to have the AI set it up, and I'll make changes from there. But guys like Joshua Rincon, Glover, Ramon Vasquez, looking for a big season out of him. Brian Kay, who we just drafted. Glenn Huff, and I believe he is the last one. So I'll be intrigued to see what these rosters end up looking like. That said, I will talk to you guys very soon at the draft. Alright, draft day is pretty much upon us. It's in 1 day, so let's go ahead and sim this game against Chicago. It'll be after this other one. We're at 22 and 39. We started off on one hell of a hot note, sweeping both the Dodgers and the Pirates before it just fell off a cliff throughout April. We're winning games here and there, but man, that April collapse, I'm like, oh my god, we're 6-0, and then bam, right off the cliff. A very rough way for that to go down. That said, we've been dealing with a couple of injuries here and there. Kind of unfortunate. Ray Rosario currently down. But again, 22 wins on the year, still ranked 30th. I'd like to see us kind of turn it around. Fingers crossed we can. As far as how the team's doing, Alex Fido with that 4.41 ERA. Logan Allen at a 3.55. Wallace just under a 4. A 3.43 for Denenberg and a 4.26 for Gonzalez. Jelly is not all that happy with being the long reliever, but his numbers aren't exactly lights out to the point where I'm like, oh yeah, sure, you can replace Gustavo. Yeah, not quite. Durbin Feltman, rough season thus far. Bruce Boyle's been okay. Lincoln Post, Ramos has been abysmal, but we don't have anybody else to call up for him. Richie Sorvala's been pretty good, and Will Vincent's been solid. He is up to just 9 saves on the year. That would certainly have to do with the team underperforming. You gotta look, though, at someone like Roger Samwell, who is ours. I mean, a 2.85 ERA, pretty damn good. Carrasco, the rookie, struggling big time. Herrera, not exactly doing that well either. Silva is alright. Johnson, and Napoleon Gillis has been pretty damn good, actually, in his rookie season. I don't remember if we have anybody else here in AA. We have Andres Taveras, who's been phenomenal and should probably get the call up to AAA. Jack Burden's been pretty solid, too. And Jimmy Grace, not so much. Lineup-wise, Graham Edwards, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs at a 248 average. Stowers hitting 326 on the year. Bobby Bloom, 11 home runs, 30 RBIs and a 260 average. Lopez, who missed some time due to injury, a 248 average with 39 RBIs. Chavis, 12 home runs, 25 RBI, 224 average. Ryder, 9, 29 and a 237. 110 and a 223 for Nolan Jones, last year's Rookie of the Year. Hiura at 1-4 and 154, so yeah, he hasn't seen a ton of action this year. And then MJ Melendez, 5-18 with a 309, so he's actually hitting very well. Lee Wilkins, 274 average. Shipman with a 254 and a 227 for Marlin, has his first home run in the majors. Glenn Huff down in AAA is looking great, a 290 average on the season. Bryant Kay, the rookie, with a 282, 26 RBI. Will Glover has gone from being on the bench in the majors to hitting in the 3 spot in AAA, doing very well with a 296 average. Calzado struggling at a 202. Unfortunately, Ramon Vasquez hitting 267, which is promising. Joshua Rincon at a 234. And Carmen Avila was our last other option, but he's deep potential. And for anybody else, Stephen Booth is ours. I do believe he is at a 209 average. Dan Williams is struggling. Montag's doing well, but he should probably be in AAA. So that explains it. And that is pretty much everybody. So now you know how the team, as it currently stands, is doing. But it's time to add to said team. Let's do it. Another draft, the 2024 draft. To be exact, let's take a look at who might be joining this team. So Rod Ventura, he's 22 and 4+ years away, so no thank you. But Tim Kincaid in left, listed as a blue chipper, a hell of a utility man, and one hell of a player. Now here's the thing. High injury risk. You can train up durability If it's in like the 20s, we're screwed. If it's like 40-ish, we might be okay. But considering we're in the NL and we don't have a DH option, that's a huge risk. But he is a tremendous bat and is fairly well-rounded as well. So we'll keep him in mind, especially with how good of a utility player he is. If we were in the AL, immediate pick. I wouldn't even look at anybody else. Sean Chavez. Let's take a look. Couple of 50s. Not number one pick worthy, unfortunately. How about Steve Brady? 65, a 55, another 60. Not bad. Not bad. Maybe not the greatest option, but not too bad. Alex Finch, the shortstop. Pretty good contact. Meh. Power. Vision, discipline, a bit meh. Definitely a defensive first option. Definitely a defensive first option. I just wish his ability at the plate was a little bit better. I don't think we're going to go for him, unfortunately. If he was blue chip, I would be convinced. But I like Brady and I like Kincaid a little bit more. Lee Gary, the 18-year-old. Too many 60s to be a number one pick. Abraham Velasco, we don't know enough about. He's 3 years away at 21. Defense first shortstop again. Rudy Rourke, the 20-year-old. Meh contact, okay power, defense first, definitely speed first. Not as sold on that. Again, that's the type where it's going to be, very defense and speed heavy, kind of a lower overall. Despite the fact that he's going to have a good potential, I'm not entirely sold. Odell Hardesty, who is 4+ years away, so no thank you. Leandro Lopez at 19. Hello. Good contact, good power. Vision discipline's a bit low, but decent fielding and speed as well. Lopez is a pretty good option, actually. And perhaps the guy to take if I don't want to risk it with Kincaid. Terry Morgan's 21, 4+ years away. It's going to take him too long to develop. Norman Garner, the closer, is tremendous. He is tremendous. The Hawaiian. Oh, that's tough. He's going to be great. He is going to be great. Jeff Sow as well. Not bad. Not bad. Sow's also on the list. The Taiwanese player, I believe would be the correct terminology. Couple of 60s, but with him being 18 and blue chip, we could work with that. Muhammad Bartlett, the left fielder. Hello, contact. High injury risk as well. And Kincaid was a better option in terms of someone as a high injury risk. So we're going to pass. Kincaid also had blue chip, if I'm not mistaken. He does. So, yeah, unfortunately for Bartlett, it's not going to work. They should still be in the same order, are they not? Yes, they are. Okay, good. Garrett Kearns, 4+ years away at 20 years old. Decent contact, power, vision, and discipline. Not number one pick worthy. Francisco Jimenez, really good contact, really good vision and discipline, great fielding. Jimenez is a great option. The speed and the power is not quite there, but everything else is looking great for the 21-year-old. Damn, I wish we had him scouted a little bit more. Randall Locke will avoid. Felix Salazar, the second baseman. Not that great, unfortunately. Are we almost done here? Joe Quinlan. Great contact, vision, and discipline. Quinlan's all... Wow, this is tough. Holy shit. I was hoping that we'd have an easy decision to go with Kincaid, but we don't. There are some really good options here, and if we swing and miss on Kincaid, that would be brutal. So we have Kincaid, Brady, Lopez, Garner, Sow, Jimenez, and Quinlan. Shit. So for starters, again, we have Brady. I wouldn't say we need the most help. That's 4 starting pitchers. He's 20 years old and is 4+ years away. So keep that in mind. I think he was the only starting. He wasn't. Sow is 18, 3 years away. Okay, Sow's a better option, and he's blue chip. So Brady's off the list. If we were to take a starter right now, it would be Sow. So Gary wasn't on the list. There's no Lopez or Garner here. So yeah, I think, man, right now Sow might be the best option. This is really tough. This is really tough. So then we have the closer, Norman Garner, who's 19, is going to be ready next year, which is nuts. God damn, I'm just trying to keep track of all of this. base. Norman Garner, we have Sal. Who else do we have here? Joe Quinlan at second, who is also just fucking ridiculous. Man, this sucks. He's also going to be ready next year. I mean, in terms of a blue chip prospect, Quinlan's the better option. He's going to be ready next year. It's just, do we want another infielder? Kearns I wasn't concerned about. We're looking for Jimenez, Lopez, and Kincaid. Kincaid as a lefty. Again, or as a left fielder, I should say. 20 years old, 2 years away. Blue chip option. Lopez and Jimenez. I don't quite remember where they are. Let's see if I can find them. Lopez was the center fielder. Let's see, 19 years old. And is ready next year. And then where was Jimenez? The second baseman. Who I think I'm going to take off the list just for the fact that he's 21. So we have a starter, a closer, 2 outfielders, and a second baseman. I mean, as far as the infield is concerned, we already have Bloom, we already have Edwards, we have Chavis and Jones, and Keston Hiura. All of whom we could let go if we wanted to take Quinlan. Again, great contact, vision. The only weakness in his game is power. That's the only weakness in Quinlan's game. Wow. This is so tough. This is going to be controversial, too. I can't wait to see who you guys would take out of these 5 and whether or not, you know, that matches up. But Kincaid's the interesting one because of that power, just his ability at the plate. He's 20. He's ready in 2 years, but that high injury risk, man. That high injury risk might have to eliminate him. It's not as if, though, that we need an outfielder. I mean, Ryder is good enough. Huff might not make it. Stowers and Lopez. Lopez is the one who has the chance to get that much better. And then at center, again, I wasn't that interested in what I saw with Rourke. But Leandro Lopez, decent contact, good power, vision discipline, kind of the weakness for him. Not listed as a blue chip, though, but maybe he would be if we had him fully scouted. And then there is the starter, Jeff Sow. He's 3 years out at 18 years old, and more than anybody else in the organization right now, he has the best chance to be the ace. Couple of 60s in there, though. So obviously he's going to need a little bit of work, but everything else, Ks, walks, break, and home runs are looking solid. He's going to need a little bit of work, but he could be great with that high potential. And then there's Norman Garner, who is not blue chip, but is going to be an amazing reliever. The problem with that is I think he's going to be so good that it will eventually cause issue with Vincent, but that goes for pretty much everybody. Whether it's the left fielder, the center fielder, closer, starter, second baseman, like, it's going to cause issues regardless with us having to get rid of somebody. So, that's a really tough call. It's a really tough call. Quinlan, I think, is the best player of the group. I think he is. Again, he's just missing the power game, but everything else is phenomenal. At this point, we have to take the best player available. I really like Kincaid. He's not as well-rounded. He could be an amazing power bat, but because we're not an AL team, I'm taking him off the list. It's just too high of a risk with that injury risk. And then there's Lopez, who might not be that bad, but I don't want to risk it with him not being blue chip. I really don't, because there are some blue chippers who we know are going to be half decent. So for that reason, it's down to Garner, Sow, or Quinlan. Garner isn't blue chip, so I can't help but think he's going to be a really high overall B potential. We know that Sow is going to be more of a project. Once the hits per nine, velocity, and control get there, he should be a beast. Or there's Joe Quinlan, who I think is the pick. He's so well-rounded. He is so well... I think we have to. It's just the power game. But I think it's got to be Quinlan. It's between him and Gardner. It's Joe Quinlan. First overall pick, Joe Quinlan. It has to be. Jeff Sow goes 5th to the Giants. I had no choice. We do get another pick in the competitive balance round, so Sow's off the board. Bartlett's gone. Kincaid went to the White Sox. I can't wait to see how some of these guys panned out and whether or not we made the right choice. Is the closer. Lewis, by the way. Brady's off the board. Our closer might still be. I think our closer's still there. Norman Garner's still there. Ooh, that is good news for us. Francisco Jimenez wasn't that bad, but I think we take Garner without question. Again, Jimenez wasn't that bad. We have Garner as an option still. Abraham Velasco, not so much. Yeah, so that works out, man. We get the second baseman and the closer. I'll take it. Norman Garner, welcome. And you know what? If you cause issues with Vincent in the future and we have to make a choice, so be it. But Joe Quinlan and Norman Garner, I think that's a hell of a start to this draft. And Francisco Jimenez is still there. Not that we need another second baseman, but he's by far the best option. He was, if anything, a slightly weaker Quinlan with less of a guarantee. I'm going to take him too. He was still the best player available. So I'm getting 3 players out of my initial short list that I was looking at. That is so unlikely, as a ton of the competitive balance really fucking kicked in there. Let's see who else is available at this point. And we don't have that much info on a lot of these guys. Dave Miles, good contact. Fielding's a bit weak, but not a bad option at all. Miguel Baladeras, not as good. Lucius Rayburn is 21, a few years away. That's not going to happen. And Dan Jeffers, I think it's Dave Miles, by far. Yeah, I think it's Dave Miles. Not bad. I mean, that overall might be good. It might be high overall, kind of meh potential. But for who we actually know about, let's take Dave Miles. Let's take Dave Miles. I am so anxious to see how this played out, man. This was nuts. In terms of ETA, I think I'm going to base it off of age and then ETA. That's what I normally do. And we'll see if there's a younger option here who's not that far away. Kenji Murakami. Not bad. Is he the only 19-year-old? Daniel Valenzuela. Or Valenzuela, I should say. Anybody else? Okay, it's between Valenzuela and Kenji Murakami. Valenzuela has the higher listed potential. I'm going with Valenzuela. And if Makami's still there, he's not. He went to the Blue Jays. We would have taken him next. Crazy draft, man. Crazy. Let's see, is there anybody else available? Anybody else? Damian Camacho and Irving Alvarez. Camacho, a little bit shorter ETA. Let's go for Damian Camacho as a catcher prospect as well. This is going to be interesting, and it's nerve-wracking. Our final pick of the craziest draft I think we've had thus far. We'll just go ahead and take a younger option. Let's take, it comes down to Dwight Blake, Dave Cornell, or Luis Cedeno. Let's go for Cedeno. Yeah, let's go for Cedeno. Let's take him. That's the higher list of potential. Not that you can trust it, of course. Holy shit. Let's see how this goes. Trust me, I want to cliffhanger you, but I want to know. Let's see how this went. Yes! Oh my god, if I didn't take Joe Quinlan. Holy shit. 18 years old, 73 overall, 95 A potential. Holy shit. Oh my god. What an absolute monster. Again, the power game's not there. The durability, like some things have to come along, but he's a 73 at 18 years old with 95 A potential. Good lord. And I was right about Norman Garner. Very good starting overall. B potential. Tremendous. I don't care how the rest of this draft went. I feel like I won. Quinlan is so goddamn good. And Garner as well will be able to step into the bullpen next season. Craziness. 19 years old, a 74 overall with beat potential. Both of these two are going to be crucial to our success in the future. Francisco Jimenez as well is at least going to be a bench option. Unfortunately, he's C potentially, just missed out on a B, but he's 21 years old and a 74 overall already. I'm sorry, but that's a home run. And if you don't think it is, Jimenez needed to be 1 potential point better for it to be a home run. Dave Miles, oh my god. So for C potential guys, Jimenez and Miles both have tremendous overalls. 68 overall at 18 years old. I love our first 4 picks. And then from there, we had to guess. And Valenzuela's not terrible for a D potential, but obviously it's not going to work out. Same with Camacho. And for a C potential, Cedeno's not bad. He might be a career AAA player. Maybe he'll be a long reliever in the future, but he's not bad. I need to know, though, did we screw up? I'm looking at other names. There isn't a single name there that I cared about. Randall Locke certainly wasn't better than who I cared about. So if I miss anybody that you're intrigued at seeing how well they or how good they are, let me know, and I'll answer that or show you at the beginning of the next episode. But right now, I'm just looking for names that we were considering more than anything. Even like a Dan Jeffers. But yeah, I haven't missed an A potential yet. So that's good. Nobody there that I cared about. That was a brutal draft for them. Odell Hardesty's a 58, so that certainly, I was never considering him, but that certainly wouldn't have worked. Jeff Sow, 18 years old, 65 overall, A potential, 99 velocity. What do you think? I think I took the right option there. Sow's going to be good. It's just going to take him a little bit longer. I think we made the right choice. They also got Mark Wada, who isn't that bad. Lee Gary, not bad, but not A potential. Still not bad for where they picked him, I believe. Terrible draft for the Red Sox. Well, good, but terrible in terms of high-end talent, right? That's all. Let's see. Bob Browning, Garrett Kearns. Nobody I really cared about there. Felix Salazar I never considered. Kenji Murakami. Same thing. Decent overall. Bad potential. Tim Kincaid. What is his durability? 20 years old, 67 overall, crazy bat, 99 potential. What is his durability? For the love of God, let it be low. Please. It's a 27. It wouldn't have worked here. Not as an NL team. You could train up that durability. I don't think we could have gotten it over like a 40 to 50 range. He would have been too unreliable. For an AL team, to have him as your DH, you're fucking golden. But for this series, being an NL team, not having a DH, I don't think it would have worked. Trust me, I would have loved to have drafted Tim Kincaid. We made the right choice. The second I saw that 99 potential, I thought we done goofed, but I think we made the right choice for being an NL team. And even then, if we were an AL team and I took him, would you think I made a mistake not taking the second baseman? Crazy. Alex Finch. There's some really good talent in this draft, man. Anybody else? Like Rod Ventura isn't that great at all, which isn't all that surprising. Nobody else here that I was considering drafting. Pretty poor draft in terms of high-end talent there. Rudy Rourke was a 57. I feel good. I feel real good. Steve Brady was only an 87. So there's that. Leandro Lopez is a 72, but a B potential. So I still think we made the right choice, obviously. They had a pretty interesting draft. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Nah. So pretty good draft for the Braves. Muhammad Bartlett, 18 years old, 98 A potential, but he's a 56. Again, I think we made the right choice getting a guy who was almost 20 overall points better. So I'm feeling good. We knew that Bartlett was going to be good, but I'm feeling all right. Terry Morgan, not that great. Rene Bourbon, not looking that good. Singletary. Damn, what a draft. Lewis. It's so dumb. And then there's Joe Quinlan. I think we made the right choice. There's so much pressure on that number 1 pick to not screw up. I think we made the right choice. And then to get Garner and some decent depth options as well. Very interesting draft. I'm happy with the outcome. Let me know what you think. Would you have done things differently? If so, would it have worked out for you based on what you know and some of the high-end talents that we looked at? Of course, let me know in the comment section as well if there's any players you wanted me to look at that I didn't. And that's pretty much it. Let me know as well, how many wins do you think we'll get? Will we break our season best of 65? It's not looking too good right now, but maybe we can. It's been onward and upward since the 2020 season. Of course, that first year is where or the first 2 years, we still had some talent that we, had to take through the draft. But it's been onward and upward. We've been making improvements. And needless to say, after a draft like that, more help is on the way. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your support with the series. You know the deal. Support the channel, support the video, all that fun stuff. You know what to do. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.